Hello everybody, greetings and welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're back here on Friday night. This time I'm going to get it right with Monster Hits. And the year we're doing this year is 1982. I thought this was going to be a bit of a landslide, but one of the songs I thought would be on there was actually released beginning of 83, so I didn't count it being in here. Anyways, other than that, there was a couple of other songs that either were past the date and were released last year or before or going after. So I try to stick with that. That's I think what happened with the AC/DC in 1980 is that their album was released, I think, towards the end of the year. I could be wrong. I'd have to go look it up. And the songs I thought were going to be big hits for that year actually came out in the following year, and then I completely forgot it because they didn't mention them. But anyways, I digress. We are back to 1982 with the top 10 songs I chosen, and a whole bunch of honorable mentions this year, probably more than any other monster hits that I've done. So I've picked 10 songs to go on my top 10 list, and I'm going to do them the way I always do them, which is my least favorite of them to my most favorite. But every single song on this list I like, otherwise they wouldn't have made the list. Even the honorable mentions, easily many of those could be considered like top 10 type things too. So anyways, without further ado, here we go. So coming in at number 10 is that kind of quirky song by Walla Voodoo called Mexican Radio. I always like this song. I think it's kind of goofy, and it's about it has that line in it calling eating barbecued iguana. I don't know why, there's something about that I find quirky as hell, and I've actually enjoyed the kind of melody that the song has and the kind of stupidity in some ways that it has. So number 10, Mexican Radio. Number 9, sorry, I was going to cough there, but I don't know what I did with my water either, and that bothers me because my throat's dry. But anyways, we'll go on with the show, as they say. So number 9 is from my favorite band, Rush. This is the New World Man. I do like this tune, but it's one of the weaker tunes on the album. I think it's almost a throw-on. There's a couple of them I think are almost throw-ons. This is one of them. I guess I could have went with Subdivisions, but it wasn't given to me, and I didn't take it as a being released in this year, so it may have actually come out in 83. I don't know. I didn't see any reference to it, so, and I looked and I didn't see any, so I didn't put it. So I went with New World Man here, and it comes in at 9. Number 8 is Let's Get It Up from AC/DC. Yep, they're getting on here this time. I do like this song. It's kind of heavy, but also it's got a little bit more of that pre-Brian Johnson flavor to it, I think, than a lot of their other stuff. Doesn't really sound like Bon Scott at all, but it just kind of reminds me of that same type of song that they might have written in that time period. Okay, number 7 is Back in the Chain Gang from Chrissie Hynde, Pretenders here. I really like this tune. Actually, I like that whole album. It's just fantastic. So Back on the Chain Gang is going to come in at number 7. Number 6 is from possibly my favorite Phil Collins solo album, which is Through These Walls is the name of this song. I can't remember the name of the album right now, but I do like most of the tracks on the album. This is just the one that it gave me, and I do like this one, so it's coming in at number 6. The top 5 are easily the top 5, I think. They are a little bit notchy, a bit of a notch above the rest. So number 5 is Golden Earrings, Twilight Zone. This real catchy, heavy beat for a more modern type of pop, power pop song, I guess you might want to call it. Really good, really interesting song. The next one's a little bit heavier than that. I wouldn't call it power pop. It's probably a little bit more like hard rock. And it's Roy Orbison's version, not Roy Orbison. Roy Orbison penned Pretty Woman, done by Van Halen, which Van Halen did a lot of covers, and this was one of them, and this was actually really good. I really liked their covers quite a bit. Number 3 comes from David Bowie, and it is a song used in the soundtrack for the movie Cat People. And the song is called Cat People, Putting Out Fire. Really catchy beat. Love the guitar in here. Stevie Ray Vaughan, although it wasn't really the style that he was accustomed to playing, he did an excellent job in turning this into a guitar flick, and great song. The next two are probably easily my two favorite for this year. Number 2 is from Toto, which is Africa. Very different from their Hold the Line song, so I didn't even know it was Toto the first couple times I heard it, but such a catchy beat, lots of melody here. It's a very emotional song, and I think it deserves to be number 2. I think it's easily number 2 here. Number 1, Landslide, The Number of the Beast. I know some people would have went with some of the other tracks on the album, but to me, Number of the Beast as a single is the best song from this year, as far as the singles and hits go. So I do love this song quite a bit, and it's still one of my favorite Iron Maiden tunes. So just to reiterate them all from top to bottom. So at the top, The Number of the Beast from Iron Maiden. Number 2, Africa from Toto. Number 3, Cat People's Putting Out Fire from David Bowie. Number 4, Oh, Pretty Woman from Van Halen, a cover of a Roy Orbison song. Number 5, Twilight Zone from Golden Earring. Number 6, Through These Walls from Phil Collins. Number 7, Back in the Chain Gang from The Pretenders. Number 8, Let's Get It Up from AC/DC. Number 9, New World Man from Rush. And number 10, Mexican Radio from Walla Voodoo. Some of the honorable mentions. Gypsy for Fleetwood Mac. This got edged out. Just got edged out. It was one of the last 2 or 3 songs to get edged out. Probably should be in there, but it's on the honorable mentions, so that's great. Crimson and Clover from Joan Jett. I do like that tune quite a bit. Dancing in the Streets, another Van Halen cover that's really well done. Enough is Enough from April Wine. I loved this song quite a bit when it first came out. It's a little bit faded a little bit for me then. Asia had a couple here. Heat of the Moment, of course, which was the big hit for them. And Soul Survivor, which I also liked quite a bit. I also kind of like the other song, Cutting It Fine. I like the little guitar flick that he does on that, but not enough to get on here. Hungry Like a Wolf from Duran Duran. It's Raining Again from Supertramp. I Love It Loud from Kiss. Not one of my favorite tracks on the Kiss album, but it's the one that was released as the single. I could take it or leave it, but I think I would rather take it. I think it's not a bad tune. Run to the Hills, the other track from Iron Maiden that could have made it there. Should I Stay or Should I Go from The Clash. Valley Girl, which is kind of a quirky song by Zappa. It's really any other kind of songs from Zappa, but I do like this one. And I did put another thing, and You Got Another Thing coming from Judas Priest, although I'm not sure. I couldn't find any info on it while I was doing this. Shake It would be easy to, but I think it supposedly came out later, like in 1983, so it may end up on next week's list. But still, I'm putting it here just in case it doesn't for some reason. Maybe it was on last year's list, or should have been. Anyways, Another Thing coming from You Got Another Thing coming from Judas Priest. And actually not one of my favorite Judas Priest tracks, but it is Judas Priest, so it's got to be mentioned. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Monster Hits from 1982, and we will be back again next week with Monster Hits from 1983. Please make your comments below. What were your favorite songs? Did I completely drop the ball on something? I'm sure somebody will let me know. And please like and subscribe. It's much appreciated, and we will see you then. Take care and have a good day. Bye.